Hello friends, a very good day to you. This is Riyaz Majid at Talk Max English and I'm here with my first formal video and we are starting from the very basics. We are starting with the topic sentence. Although there are a few things that we are supposed to learn before we learn the tense, but I would prefer to go with the tense first for the reasons that I would prefer to start with the whole rather than starting with the parts that we usually teach in our classes. We start with the parts of speech. But I would prefer to go with the whole and I'd start with the sentence. Let's talk about sentence. What exactly does a sentence mean? If we go by the traditional definition of sentence, they say a sentence is a group of words that makes some sense. Fair enough. But does it really explain for the students of grammar that what does a sentence grammatically mean? Let's try to explore what does a sentence mean. Sentence for me is a grammatical structure that consists of two existential components. I say two existential components. What do I mean when I mean to say existential components? Say for example, we as human beings, we have so many body parts. Some of these body parts are essential while others are existential. By essential I mean to say the things that are so necessary for us. But when I say existential, I mean to say the things, the parts of the body without which I cannot exist. Now say for example, these arms of ours are essential for us. The legs are essential for us. But haven't you seen the people without arms and they still survive, they still exist? Haven't you seen the people without legs and both without legs and without arms but still they survive, they exist? But then have you heard of a man, of a person without a head and he still exists? No. Have you heard of someone who doesn't have a heart, doesn't have lungs, doesn't have kidneys? No. Why not? Because these parts are existential. These parts are necessary for our survival. So these are existential. In the same way, a sentence too has some existential parts. I'll put it in two things. The first existential part of a sentence is called the subject. And the next part is called the predicate. Now, the question is, what is subject and what is predicate? Subject is someone or something about which or whom we talk. Subject is someone or something about which or whom or which we talk. And then comes the predicate. What is predicate? Predicate means what we say about the subject. What we say or we may write about the subject. When we talk or we write, we talk about someone. We talk about something. When we say someone means a human and something means a non-human entity. It could be anything. Now, what is subject? Someone or something about whom or which we talk. And predicate is what we say about the subject. What we say about the subject is the predicate. Now, putting it grammatically, usually when we talk about a subject is usually a noun or a pronoun. I say usually it's a noun or a pronoun is the subject. And what is predicate? Predicate can contain anything. And the most existential element in the predicate is the verb. Is the verb, the finite verb. The main verb, the principal verb is the most important part of the predicate. Now let's take an example. Say for example, I write a sentence here. I say, I eat good food every day at home. Now here is a sentence, I eat good food every day at home. Or now what do is, if I take away this word, eat good food. For some reasons, I would like to change the subject here. I put here he eats good food every day at home. Now what do I do is, if I take away this word which is the subject of the sentence, he. Now what we are left with is eats good food every day at home. Is this a sentence? No, it's not. Why not? Because we have taken one of the existential elements away. And if I put back that thing, the sentence is again there. He eats good food every day at home. Now what do I do next is, we have an adjective here, good. I remove this adjective here. Is this a sentence? He eats food every day at home. Yes, it is a sentence. It is a sentence, so without good we can have the sentence. Now what do I do next is, I take away this word. Every day he eats good food at home. I'm taking away the adverb now, and the sentence is still there. The sentence is still there. Now what do I do is, I take away this. He eats good food. The sentence is still there. Now what do I do is, I put all these there. He eats good food every day at home. Now what do I do is, I take away this word. Eats. He good food every day at home. Is it a sentence? No, it's not. Certainly it's not. Why not? Because I have taken something existential out of this structure. And that existential element I was talking about of the predicate is the finite verb, which in this case is the word eats. So it's the finite verb, and in the first place it's the noun, or I said pronoun. Say for example, in place of he, I put here Jack eats good food every day at home. Now if I take either of the two away, if I take the subject away or if I take the finite verb away, the sentence won't exist. Why? Because these are the two existential elements. Sometimes we have sentences of two words only. For example, birds fly is a complete sentence. Dogs bark is a complete sentence. Children play is a complete sentence. So you can have a sentence of two words only, wherein you have the subject and you have the finite verbs. At times it's like this. But without these two, without having the subject and without having the predicate, and in predicate the most existential element is the finite verb. If you do not have the subject, you cannot make a sentence. If you do not have a finite verb, you cannot make a sentence. These are the two existential. To speak, to write, to begin, to talk, you need, first of all, you need to understand two things. The two existential elements you must have is the subject and the predicate. And in the predicate, the most important element is the finite verb. Not important, but existential element of a sentence. So, if I am asked then what is a sentence, I would say a sentence is a grammatical structure that consists of two existential elements, namely subject and predicate. And when it comes to subject, I will put it grammatically, subject is either a pronoun, either a noun or a pronoun. Usually it's that, a noun, or there are some exceptions to it, but usually it's a noun or a pronoun. That makes your subject. And then this subject is followed by, usually in a sentence in a grammatical pattern, this subject is followed by the word which is usually the finite verb, which is the other existential part of a sentence, the existential component of the predicate. Because you can make a sentence without an adjective, you can make a sentence without an adverb, you can make a sentence without an interjection, you can make a sentence without any other part of the speech, but unless and until you do not have two things, subject, which means a noun or a pronoun usually, and then finite verb. If you do not have that, you can never ever make a sentence. So I repeat that a sentence is a grammatical structure consisting of two existential elements, namely subject and the predicate. Subject is usually a noun or a pronoun, and predicate can consist of so many things. But the most essential and the existential part of the predicate is the finite verb. Hope you understand what exactly does a sentence grammatically mean. Thank you very much and see you in the next lecture.